it's Shelby with Farmhouse Living and welcome back to our channel. Today I am sharing my Christmas home tour and I'm super excited to share it with you, not only from a decorating standpoint, but I'm also going to share practical standpoint, like how to get your house in order, whether you have kids or you just don't love the clutter of the holidays. As you can see, I still have a lot of decor, but I've simplified in ways specifically with kids' toys, and so I want to show you those tips as well. If you're familiar with our channel, you know I film with my mom, but she is a little under the weather, so I told her to go home and rest up for our next home tour, which is the carriage house in the Bingham Estate, which you will see next week, and I cannot wait for you guys to see those spaces. So we're in the living room of my home and it's very different than last year. I mean, I have updated furniture. I have a new rug, a new chair, a new sofa, coffee table. The only thing that's actually the same is the media console. But that all of this was like budget friendly. I mean, I did it like Facebook Marketplace, DIY. I used every hack in the book to update my living room on a very small budget. But what's fun is I brought so much of the same Christmas decor in with completely new furniture. So even though a lot of the same Christmas is being repeated, it feels completely fresh because my furniture. So all of that has been updated. If you saw Christmas last year, we used kind of like burgundies, browns, and then this like muted green, which I really am loving this year. We've been seeing that this is probably the third year, these like earthy tones in Christmas, and I'm loving it, and I hope it is always in style. And I think it will be, but maybe a different spin on it. So for the tree, I used ornaments of all different sizes, and then I added ribbon. Super simple. It's not one of those over the top trees, but honestly, it's really how I like it. The other thing I did is I wrapped presents early this year and I added ribbon that I found from Hobby Lobby for so cheap, but it looks really expensive. I got the wrapping paper from Zazzle, which is my first time ever shopping at Zazzle. But I love that the wrapping paper almost looked like wallpaper. And so I wanted to invest in more sophisticated looking wrapping paper to use presents as really decor. So I wanted it to look and go with the feel. We also updated the pillows to make the green and the blue from the rug kind of all tie in together. So really simple update. I was due for some new pillows. I don't know if those will stay after the holidays, but I'm really digging them. They're from Target, and all of the shopping links that you need will be linked in cards on our LTK profile. So for the mantle, the other thing that we did was we just put greenery that we cut from the yard on the mantle, and then we actually put some sprigs that we had from a fall arrangement inside of that. So I used green stockings. Last year I actually borrowed them from mom, like some like furry and like knit stockings, which are really fun because I like the texture. But this year I decided to go with the green, and I'm really glad I did. These were actually my stockings from my house 2 years ago, so it was fun to bring those back around. You can also see on the mantle that I just layered in some angel wings, and then I put gold ornaments in a bowl. I really like doing things like that where you're using a container or something that you already have out all year and you're just filling it with something that is seasonal. So you're really not completely changing out the decor, you're just embellishing it. And that's a really simple way to make an update. Another place that we did something similar was on the wall sconces. I literally just put ribbon on it and voila, it's completely updated. And I put greenery in the vase on the media console, and it's just simple things that really completely freshen a space. So now I'm gonna take you to the kitchen and the dining room, and I cannot wait to show you what I did. Okay, so I am very excited to show you guys my dining room this year. So my dining room hasn't always been my favorite. It's just always kind of felt like an afterthought. I don't hate it, I'm just not like super excited about it. I feel like it just needs something. And so this year I decided, when I found this inspiration from the Blesser house, to just take this inspiration and run with it. And I'm so glad, because it made me love my dining room like I've never loved it before. And I want to mention that about holiday decor. That's what's so fun, is you can put these little embellishments, and then spaces that just haven't felt like your favorite end up becoming something that you really just are starting to love and starting to have a fresh vision for it. So what I did here was I got a print, which if you've watched our last video, Mom and I are decorating a carriage house. It is it's off the Bingham Estate, and it is going to be in the McKinney Holiday Home Tour. And I found a moose print on Etsy, and I printed it for the carriage house, and I decided to use it for my house because I loved it so much. Cool hack that I used for this is I got the print off Etsy for $2. I printed a poster 24 by 36 for $12 at Walgreens. They retail for $32, and I used a discount code, like, you know, those little widgets that you can install, find a discount code, and it found one, made them $12. And then I got a frame from At Home for $25, and I used Rub and Buff to make it gold and updated. So the whole thing was 25 plus 12. And I went ahead and I bought 2 other poster prints and stuck them behind there so I can use this frame after Christmas. So I just really took advantage of the sale. The next thing I did from the Blesser House inspiration was I made a garland, and this is a pretty big one. I have a whole video teaching you how to make a garland if you're interested, but basically you just take twine and paddle wire and you wrap the greenery around the twine, and then it's a garland. You'll have to, once it's on the wall, you'll have to kind of secure the pieces that are kind of coming loose and make it very structured. If you're just sitting it on the mantle, that's a little easier, but hanging it on the wall, you'll have to kind of like make it more structured. I have a whole reel, or if you're on TikTok, with more details on that, and I will link that down below. The next thing I did was I added oranges. So last year I made an orange, or I dried oranges in the oven. Total fail. I did use them actually in the dining room on a tree. It was fine, but they were like, some of them were burnt, some of them were not dried at all. This year we used my dad's dehydrator, and these are just so amazing. And I'm so glad that we used the dehydrator and made it completely, like, they look fresh, but they're completely dried. So the color is amazing, and they all dried evenly. So I have a blog post that I didn't write it, but that I found that was super useful on how to dry oranges most effectively. They do say you can get it good with an oven, but since I had a dehydrator that I could borrow, I did that. I used paddle wire or just floral wire to stick through them, and that's how I made the garland. I know a lot of people will use a sewing needle and thread. I just didn't have that on hand, so the floral wire was what I did to make the look. So I hope you love that as much as I do. I'm pretty crazy about it. So the kitchen, all I did was I put fresh greenery on the open shelves, pine cones, a gingerbread house on a cake stand, and then some trees. You can never go wrong with putting ornaments in a bowl or in a colander, something like that. So I just really embellished what I already had. I used a command hook to put a wreath on the vent hood. It actually was challenging to find one that was not too small and not too big, but I did finally find one at Target. I put some greenery on my my cutting board that's on my backsplash in my stove alcove, my coffee bar. So I was able to find these really cute mugs when I was at Hobby Lobby, and I like them because they're more like latte mugs, so it's perfect. Normally I have just coffee mugs there. I am looking for great latte mugs that are for every day, but for now, these holiday ones are perfect. If you watch our Christmas videos last year, we had some really great latte recipes, and so I'll link those in the blog if you're interested in trying a delicious holiday latte. This is my favorite spot: coffee, wine, and then in view of my pretty dining room that I now love. Over here in this little niche, I also just kept it very simple, and I literally just threw some candy canes in my vase that I always have there. So nothing was really new there, but I just wanted some soft embellishment, and I have greenery everywhere, so candy canes it was. So next, let's go to the kids' spaces, and this is where it gets practical for those people craving clutter-free or those mamas that are just over the chaos of the kid toys. So here in the playroom, which is off of the living room, and then also there's an entry point from the kitchen. Last year I really loved what we did in here, and we did like a lot of color and a lot of like more embellishments, but I really wanted to keep it simple in the kids' spaces. There's always so much going on, so many toys, so much paper boxes. It just like feels like so much mess. So I kept the tree bare. I just wanted something that I didn't have to worry about anyone pulling down, breaking anything, just, you know, I didn't want any mess. But the thing I really want to talk about outside of Christmas decor in here is our toy rotation system. So prior to Christmas, I decided I was really going to cull through the toys. What are they playing with? What are they not playing with? Where should they go? If they're gonna get new stuff, people kept asking, grandparents especially, I love you guys, but y'all load us down with toys. So they're like, what should we get the kids? And I'm like, I mean, every basket in the house is full. There's always stuff all over. If you watch our Instagram, you saw we had a reel go viral, over 1 million views. So I know people can relate to my 3-year-old bringing every toy out in the living room. And I had just cleaned the living room, and it was like all of that happened within 10 minutes. Like it was just like I went to the bathroom, filled up a glass of water, and the whole house was chaos. And so I really wanted to simplify and help her enjoy her toys. So we have a basket here, and we put only plush, like all the stuffed babies in there. And then we have 3 different baskets here. We have a basket of books, a basket of like cooking, like pretend stuff, and then we have a basket for Paw Patrol. She's really into Paw Patrol right now, and so that was really it. But she has more toys than that, so I want to show you. I want to go to her room, and I want to show you what we did with the other toys, and what our plan is to rotate these baskets. The other thing I want to mention is I tried to change my frame TV decor or my frame TV art to Christmas, and I've changed it before, I just couldn't figure it out. So it's kind of springy, but it's okay. Like I said, we're simplifying it. We're taking it easy. We're not going to overthink every single detail. So let's go to Quinn's room. Okay, so we are in Quinn's room. I did get her a tree for herself. She was trying to put ornaments on that bare tree, and then her baby brother was pulling them off. It just was a little much. So I decided to get shatterproof ornaments with some butterfly clips, and then it has a crown on the top, and then I put a wreath that we had from last year on there. And then all I did was wrap a like blanket, one of those like faux fur blankets around the base as a tree skirt, so then we can use it all year if we wanted to decorate different things with it. It's got function outside of just being a tree skirt. I also put 2 white stockings on her wall underneath her little her reading shelves, and then she has her nugget here. I don't plan on filling those, but I just thought that was really cute. So now I'm going to show you the practical standpoint. I'm going to open her closet, which prior to this I would have been really afraid to open, but I'm going to show you. And I do want to just give a shout out. Her babysitter that watches the kids on Tuesday, Thursday, she's the one that did this. I embraced it, and I kept going, and I like really kept cleaning and like organizing because I thought the purge would be super useful, but she did this whole thing. Okay, So we have tubs that I got from Target for $6 each. I have tall ones and then I have short ones. And I think the short ones were actually $4, $5, something very affordable. And I've labeled them. So blocks, we have even like sentimental stuff she likes to look at and pull out sometimes, but stuff I don't want just like getting in the clutter and getting destroyed. We also have a set of Barbies. She has so many Barbies, so much just tchotchkes that go with it, so having that divided. And then more kitchen plate stuff, like the pretend stuff, and then crafts. And so we just have these divided areas, so then I'll be able to rotate in those playroom baskets. And then she also has 2 baskets at the bottom of her closet, and one of them has like Barbie, baby, that type of stuff, so it's probably a little messier than like the standard toy rotation, but she really kind of plays with the baby and the Barbie stuff together. So I didn't want to separate those because I've been watching her actually enjoy that, and she puts that stuff back really well there. And then we have dress up. She loves to dress up, so we have dress up bin, baby bin. And the cool thing about this whole thing is she's been asking me, where does this go, Mom? Oh, I found this. And like really embracing the whole thing. I will be honest, the first day she was a little like, where's all my stuff? But I told her, oh, next week we'll pull it out. And she just got so pumped, and she's actually playing with stuff I haven't seen her play with in ages, and things aren't getting broken and things are going in their place. Clean up after or before nap time and before bed is so much easier. And so I really think this is like, I'm gonna embrace it fully. I'm probably going to narrow down some of the selection, especially in these. In the playroom, there's not as many toys in the baskets, but in these big baskets in her bedroom, they're pretty full. In Luke's room, my son's room, we also did some Christmas embellishments, and we have a tree next to his crib. I have a patriotic Santa that I put on his dresser, which is perfect because it's right next to the flag. And then I put a tree on his shelf. So I like to keep it pretty simple in the kids' rooms, but maybe I shouldn't say it's simple because some people don't put any decor in their kids' spaces. But Quinn was really excited, so then I decided to do the same for Luke. He also has a similar setup in his closet. It's not as built out because he doesn't have as many toys. Like, we have that basket underneath his little gallery wall, and that has like almost all the toys he has completely because he's only 7 months old. So he doesn't need a ton of stuff. He will eventually have as many buckets as her, and we'll have a similar rotation. Some of these things might end up being his, like the wooden blocks. Like, I'm not sure how long she'll play with those. Right now, she loves stacking them. She gets very excited. I think the Barbie, she's leaning more into that stuff, dolls and big girl stuff right now. And so we'll see. So what I'm really loving right now is being able to communicate with the grandparents, family, people that want to send them gifts. Oh, they would really love this because they have a whole pretend bucket that they could fill up. And we have a dress up bucket, and we have just these different categories that I'm able to give them. They need more books or whatever. And I feel like I can productively share gifts that our children would benefit from rather than being like, oh my gosh, clutter is coming my way, because I don't like a ton of clutter. And so having this method is super helpful to confidently walk into the holiday season when you know people are going to get your kids gifts, and knowing, okay, I have a method to the madness and my kids will be able to enjoy their toys. Because there has been time when they've had gifts and I'm like, they didn't even play with them at all. And I think they would have if we would have had a system like this. I also decorated the bathroom, like really simple countertop, little Santa figurine and then green stems. So not every room is decorated, but actually every room's decorated except for the guest room. And then my primary bedroom, I didn't do anything, but I put a little Christmas tree in the primary bathroom on a little stool. I did that last year, so I just thought, why not? We'll do it again. So let's go back to the living room and I'll share what's coming next. Okay, so we have more home tours coming up. We really intended on sharing the carriage house on the Bingham estate first, but because mom was under the weather, that is pushed back to next week. But I cannot wait for you guys to see. You're gonna love every inch of it. We have more home tours. Basically all of December is home tours. So if you love home tours, make sure that you subscribe. I also have made gift guides. So if you want to know what to get your kids, if you don't have a lot of storage and you want to know how can I get toys for my kids that aren't ugly, that go with my decor, I call this play and display. I've rounded up those things. I have gift guides for grandparents, hostess gifts, just pretty things if you're interested in that. I also have photos of this home tour, so if you want to just look and enjoy, I have that, and that has shopping links for the house as well. So that is a little housekeeping for the video. I hope that you enjoyed. I am so excited to share it with you. I'm loving Christmas in my home this year more than ever, and now I feel like I've really built a collection that I can build on for years to come. So I would love to hear from you in the comments, so just let's chat down there and just have a great day, guys. Bye. My dog's barking. I think that is package delivered. I ordered my Christmas gifts on time this year.